Hey guys, welcome to Badass Reviews News of the Week. You may be wondering how come I'm a bit formal today as opposed to my usual band tee. Well, that's none other than because the Oscars are upon us. That's right, the Motion Picture Academy Awards. It will be live tonight, Sunday night, in the US, and it'll be basically tomorrow morning for the rest of us in Asia. And we are going hostless again this year, and so I don't expect a entertainment spectacle from the ceremony itself. Although I am looking forward to seeing the winners, the speeches, of course, and maybe an odd surprise or shock or two. So let me give you a lowdown on the major categories as well as some of the technical awards, and maybe this video can be a cheat sheet for you when you watch the awards. Perhaps also a few predictions from Badass Reviews. And I'm going to start with a summary on the technical awards itself. And let me start at the Oscars, the Academy Award for Achievement in Cinematography or Best Cinematography Award. I think this is a cast iron 100% stone cold without a doubt win for Roger Deakins. That's right, I think Roger Deakins is going to win his second Oscar for Best Cinematography after winning in 2017 for Blade Runner 2049. I think he will win this year because his work and his team's work in 1917 was fantastic, and I think well deserved of winning the award. Apart from cinematography, another award that I think that 1917 will be contending for is the achievement in production design. Basically, your set design, everything that goes around to setting up the mise-en-scene of a shot before it's before it's being filmed. That's what production design is, and I think that 1917 they have won quite a few awards on the go in this category from different awards. However, I do think that the first surprise of the night you will see is here. Parasite, I think, will win because there's a big how do I say this, conversation going on about the climactic scene in Parasite, with the flooding and how all of that was actually designed on a set, on a sound stage, and it wasn't an actual street, it was so realistic. So I think that Parasite might have an upper hand and might win the production design award. In addition to which, I think Parasite will sweep quite a few awards this year. I think they will get the Best Editing Award again for the climactic flooding scene at the end, as well interspersed with the murder spree going on in the rich area. I also do think that apart from Yang Jinmo's work in Parasite in terms of editing was fantastic, and I think he will win for best editing here. This is in addition to what I think will be Parasite's guaranteed win, which is the best international feature, best foreign film. The closest rival for Parasite for the best international feature is Dolor y Gloria, or Pain and Glory. However, I don't think they have much of a chance. Parasite a surefire win for international feature, in addition to those two technical awards that I mentioned. Moving on to a few other technical awards, this is where I think 1917 will steal the spotlight a bit. I think they will take home a trifecta of technical awards for sound editing, sound mixing, as well as visual effects. Now, for those who have watched the film, you will understand why these three things are of utmost importance in it. How the sound editing, which is where they take ambient sound, adding, removing certain background sounds during filming, and sound mixing, which is adding everything in and making it sound perfect. It's an oversimplification, but that's my understanding of it. I think these two aspects of the film was great. Ford v Ferrari might win one of them. However, I do think that both those awards will go to 1917 in addition to best visual effects. The visual effects in 1917 were stunning, and I do think the usage of practical as well as computer generated imagery is important here. And I do think that 1917 will take the win for that. Now moving on to original score, the Oscars for the Academy Award for original score. Now, for a long time, I thought that it will definitely be Hilda Goodness Daughter's win for a surefire win, especially after that stirring music that she had composed for Joker. However, I do think that Thomas Newman, who has had a lot of nominations but has now won, if I'm not wrong, might spring an upset here for 1917. Although I don't think that's highly likely. My nod is for Hilda Goodness Daughter for Joker. Moving on to two animated categories, I'll just quickly go through them. Animated short, I think Halef, a really loving, caring, kind short, which you can find on YouTube, will take home the animated short Oscar. And I do think that the animated feature will see Klaus, that's right, Netflix Klaus, springing an upset over the much heralded Toy Story 4. I think Klaus is doing well. He even won the Best Annie Award, which is the animation Oscars, recently. So I think that Klaus will win. Moving on to the acting. Now this is the category, the four categories here, the acting categories is where I don't think any surprises are. I think we've known for quite some time who the winners will be. Unfortunately, there won't be any surprises here. So I'm just going to go through all four of them. Laura Dern for Best Supporting Actress, Brad Pitt for Best Supporting Actor, basically for Marriage Story and for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Renée Zellweger for Best Actress. Her performance in Judy was much lauded. I don't think anyone can come close to her in it. I've not watched that film, but just based on the trades, it seems like she's the highly likely winner. And of course, Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin has been winning all the major awards in the acting category, the BAFTAs, the Golden Globes, Dramatic Role, as well as the SAG Awards. So I do think that he will be taking home the Best Oscar for Best Actor Oscar. As I mentioned, no surprises in the acting category. Moving on to the creme de la creme, I would say, the categories given to the writers and the directors. The adapted screenplay, the nominees were The Irishman, Joker, Little Woman, The Two Popes, and Jojo Rabbit. So as you know, the adapted screenplay category is basically films that were written based on an existing IP, novel, comic, whatsoever. And I think that Jojo Rabbit will win the adapted screenplay award. As for the original screenplay, the nominations are Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And for the original screenplay, I think Parasite will win. Now, this is based on what I feel is the trend, because both Jojo Rabbit and Parasite, they won for adapted screenplay and original screenplay respectively in the Writers Guild Award, which is quite a good barometer to see who wins the Oscars. And I do think that Jojo Rabbit will win the adapted screenplay and Parasite will win the original screenplay. As for the director category, achievement in directing, the nominees are Sam Mendes, Bong Joon-ho, Todd Phillips, Quentin Tarantino, and Martin Scorsese. And Sam Mendes has been on a roll. He has won the Directors Guild Awards, the BAFTAs, as well as the Golden Globes leading up to this. And I think that he's only contender in this Best Director category is Bong Joon-ho. However, I do think that the Academy will award Sam Mendes the Oscar for Best Directing, because I think the big one, the big award of the night, and I'm calling this. I think the Academy is going to pull out a shock, and despite 1917 winning everything, Like I mentioned earlier, Sam Mendes winning in the DGAs, the BAFTAs, the Golden Globes. 1917 has been doing the same thing, winning the Producers Guild Award, which is the barometer for Best Picture, the Golden Globes as well as the BAFTAs. I do think that in this category, the final category of the night, we will see a shock. I think that, drumroll, Parasite will win Best Picture. That's right. I think this will deliver the right message to the world, and I think that Parasite is a well-deserving film. And I do think that the Academy wants to, show that they have changed. It's not just a bunch of old white men sitting there and voting. The Academy has a lot more members, more diverse membership now, and I do hope to see Parasite winning. Do stay tuned, guys, for a Oscar roundup, maybe a roundup of the winners and the ceremony itself in the coming week. I hope that this cheat sheet will help you while you watch the Oscars tonight, tomorrow morning. And this has been a presentation of Badass Reviews. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do that thing, but most importantly, keep calm and rock on.